China is exporting its unemployment. The complex mechanism of international commerce has led to a startling development in the United States. Our trade relationship with China has set up a system through which China can export its unemployment, which was once rampant in its eastern coastal cities, to the United States' own industrial heartland. China does this through several vehicles, the primary being its manipulation of international currencies. The Chinese government acquires a vast amount of US dollars through unbalanced international trade, but they acquire a similarly massive amount through printing yuan and trading them outright for dollars. After stashing a strategic reserve of US currency, as well as dozens of other currencies, the Chinese government returns the dollars to the US market by exchanging them for bonds issued by the Treasury Department. This, in effect, proliferates dollars in the US, making them readily accessible for American consumers, increasing the odds that those consumers will turn around and purchase more Chinese goods. The Chinese created and continue to foster a cyclical currency exchange between themselves and the US. They recycle our dollars in the international market and ensure that the net result of this cycle is an accumulation of billions of dollars worth of treasury bonds. The primary result of this cycle is the accumulation of treasury bonds, which give China political leverage against American policies. However, another major development, which is likely just as important, is the shift in unemployment. For decades, China was a largely unproductive and backward country. The largest nation on earth was unable to feed itself, let alone export anything in large quantities. But when the mechanism for currency manipulation was discovered and implemented, that all began to change. As the Chinese recycle American dollars, inflating the amount in our domestic system, they make it more and more likely that some of those dollars will be spent in China. Every time we buy a Chinese-made product, the government there invests the profits into manufacturing and industry, increasing the odds that more exports will come in the future. As manufacturing and investment increases and employment increases in China, their economy has grown exponentially. The Chinese have also put together very business-friendly policies to attract businesses from Europe and the US. This process has been almost completely unimpeded by government policies in the United States. Our government has not only failed to stop the flood of American businesses into China and failed to stop the self-promoting currency manipulation of the Chinese, but it has also failed to address the fact that China's policies are moving their unemployment onto our shores. They are soon to become the world's largest and most productive economy, and they will have accomplished this not by building themselves up, but by siphoning prosperity from the US. The US may not be able to address China's currency manipulation, and we may have to accept the fact that the hundreds of billions in treasury bonds held by their government are at this point a complete loss. But we can take a stand against the trade deficit which drives unemployment. If the United States government encouraged a strong Buy American provision in every bit of its spending legislation and gave out its tax rebates in the form of American-only certificates, it would effectively lessen the draining effect of the trade deficit and boost domestic employment. Right now, neither party is addressing the problem. The Republican call for deregulation and a virtually tax-free government will only exacerbate the problem with China, and the Democrats' stimulus is nothing more than a bandage. When the effects of the stimulus wear off, we will simply return right back to the throes of recession. We need better solutions. On behalf of Concerned Citizens, I'm Craig Harrington. For more on this and other related topics, please log on to economyincrisis.org.
Wake up, America! Open up your eyes! Wake up, America! Wake up!
Produced by economyincrisis.org.